Welcome to Market Momentum.
So, after a downturn that has really tested everyone's resolve, we're starting to see some very interesting signs of life across different markets. The big question on everyone's mind is this it? Is this the start of a real market-wide recovery?
We're going to kick things off with the crypto market because, wow, what a roller coaster it's been. The whole mood has just completely flipped from widespread fear to what's looking like a seriously powerful rebound.
Okay, so this slide tells such an important story right now. Initially, what happened was that fears over in the Japanese stock market kind of acted like an anchor, dragging everything down with it, including crypto. But now, look at the situation today. Crypto has completely broken away, it's decoupled, and is now starting its own strong rebound, which is pretty fascinating.
So let's talk about the leader, Bitcoin. What are we all watching for? Well, there is one specific price level that acts as a kind of trigger, a confirmation that the bulls are officially back in control.
And that magic number is 92,000. It's a huge psychological line in the sand. A really solid, sustained move above that level is the green light everyone's waiting for. In the meantime, it's good to see that major support is holding strong right around that 84,000 mark.
And we're seeing a very similar playbook for Ethereum. It's following almost the exact same path. First, there was that sharp fall right down to a key long-term support level. Then, step 2, a really strong rebound started, wiping out a lot of those recent losses. So what's the final step? A clear break above 3,105. That would be the big confirmation signal.
All right, let's switch gears and jump over to the US stock market. Because over here, the story isn't about a shaky recovery, it's really about broad, confident strength. There seems to be a real bullish consensus building.
And when you look at the major US indices, it's positive across the board. You've got positive momentum for the Dow Jones and for the S&P 500. But the one that's really standing out, the clear leader of the pack, is the tech-heavy Nasdaq. It's showing very positive momentum.
And this chart just puts that strength into perspective perfectly. The Nasdaq is now just 2.5% away from its all-time high. We're talking about a gap that could close in just a few good trading sessions. A breakout could be right around the corner.
But here's where the plot really thickens. While stocks and crypto are showing all this strength, the story for precious metals is completely different. It feels like they're at a crossroads, with a lot of indicators suggesting this incredible run might be nearing a peak.
And the general feeling really gets summed up by this quote. The data suggests that taking new long positions here is risky. And that's the key takeaway. Even though prices are high for gold and silver, the warning signs are definitely flashing, suggesting the risk is getting pretty high for new buyers.
Let's just zoom in on silver for a moment. Its recent rally has pushed it deep into what we call overbought territory. And what's so interesting is that if you look back historically, 2008, 2011, 2020, every single time it's gotten this overbought, it's marked a major peak in the price. It's a pattern that's pretty hard to ignore.
Now, for gold, there's this really fascinating way to analyze its value by comparing it to something called the M2 money supply. So, what is that? Simply put, it's just a broad measure of all the money, cash, and other easy-to-access funds that's floating around in the U.S. economy.
So when you measure the price of gold not just in dollars, but as a ratio against all that money on the system, you get a really powerful look at its valuation. And what's incredible is that right now, that ratio has climbed to the exact same peak it hit back in 2011. This strongly suggests that, by historical standards, gold might be getting pretty expensive.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What is the key takeaway? Well, we are seeing this incredible split in the markets right now. On one hand, you've got recovery and strength in crypto and stocks, and on the other, you've got signs of elevated risk in precious metals.
This table is basically your cheat sheet for the coming days. For Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's all about watching those bullish trigger levels. For the Nasdaq, it's about seeing if it can close that tiny 2.5% gap to a new peak. And for gold and silver, the message is pretty clear. Caution is advised.
And that, of course, leaves us with the million-dollar question. When you see strength in some assets and a potential top forming in others, you have to ask yourself, where is all that capital, all that smart money, going to flow to next? That's the puzzle everyone is trying to solve.
Thanks for joining us. Your subscription and likes will be appreciated.